KVNU Aggie Game Day on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio The Fan. The best complete pregame coverage information for Aggie fans with longtime voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, bringing you interviews, facts, stats, and lineups. Brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, ChemDry of Northern Utah, Aegis Home Health and Hospice, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and Golden Spike Electric. It's the KVNU Aggie Game Day pregame show.
Well, the Aggies have won 2 in a row now to stay in the hunt to defend their Mountain West title. It was so memorable for lots of reasons that we, of course, wished maybe hadn't happened to the team and the players last week, but somehow at Colorado State and at Fort Collins last Saturday night, the Aggies won 17-13, Coach.
For tonight, that's when you celebrate. You'll remember those games don't happen. To give up a block punt and to go through 3 quarterbacks and lose as many guys as we did during the game, those are games you typically lose, and somehow we found a way to win. So.
First school this year to use 4 quarterbacks because of injury reasons in the country. First time we've had 3 quarterbacks in except mop-up duty against Stony Brook when Henry Columbi came in for Jordan Love, and then so did Andrew Peasley. And remember, Peasley was hurt in that appearance after he made a long run, and he is a major story in the game in Laramie tonight. Peasley, the starting quarterback now of the Wyoming Cowboys, coached by Craig Bohl, and of course, he was in our system here for 4 years.
You know what? I talked to Andrew about a lot of stuff, and every year is different. Just like they're doing different things, we're doing different things. I cannot tell you enough though how much I personally enjoyed working with Andrew. He is. It's been a great fit. I mean, here's a guy that, families all were ranchers, and he's a small town guy. He embraces Laramie. He was, elected captain by a wide margin, and that's tough to do in a short amount of time. And he's embraced a lot of these players, so we're excited about having him on our team.
So we're going to talk more about that matchup tonight and the trade between the 2 schools of quarterbacks. A long history of Aggie and Cowboy matchups. It's our 4th longest series. It's their 5th longest. But Coach Bohl and his team have always made it tough. They totally bashed the Aggies in Logan. Remember, in the second half last year, it was 24-17 at the half, and they won going away 44-17. They, like Utah State, are 2-1 in the Mountain Division, chasing Boise State, who is at Air Force, and they're handling the Falcons. First quarter, Falcons had no rushing yards, and in the second quarter, 9 minutes to play, Boise State is up 16-0 already at Air Force. How about that? Also going on right now is Fresno State and New Mexico, 13-6. Fresno leading New Mexico at the half. Earlier today, UNLV did lose to Notre Dame. Notre Dame played in their stadium last week, beat BYU. Now they went back to Notre Dame, 44-21. They beat UNLV. And Colorado State, 17-13 over Hawaii in their game. The San Jose, New Mexico State game canceled after Cam McKnight, a player for San Jose, was tragically killed yesterday morning in a traffic accident where he was on a scooter going to San Jose State, getting ready to make that trip yesterday. They will not play right now. So San Diego State, Nevada, a little bit later on tonight, and so is our Utah State and Wyoming game. It'll be on FS1 at 7:45 coming up tonight. So game day on KVNU and Sports Talk Radio The Fan is on this Saturday night in October. It is sponsored by White Pine Funeral Services, a primary provider of funeral and cremation services here in the Valley. Again, excellence in service from White Pine Funeral Services. You can visit whitepinefunerals.com. And also brought to you by Young Tractor and Trailer Center. Flatbed and all makes of trailers and work trucks are available. Competitive pricing. They're at 2900 South Highway 89, and they bring you game day. And let's get started with so many of the interesting storylines tonight for the Aggies and Cowboys. Hi, everybody. Al Lewis with Craig Hislop. And my feeling here is, Craig, we're, pro sports, you get trades. And in the NFL, every once in a while, a big quarterback has gone to another team for another big quarterback. But college sports, well, Craig, did we get a trade between Utah State and Wyoming involving quarterbacks?
You know, it kind of works out that way because we have Levi Williams now from Wyoming, and Wyoming has our guy Peasley, and I want to talk about both of them. Levi's a quarterback at Utah State now. He's a big guy, 6'5", 230. And I guess we're listing him as a sophomore from Canyon Lake, Texas, spent 3 seasons at Wyoming. 12 of the 18 games he played, he started. And one of those was here November 20th, last year, Merlin Olsen Field. 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 242 yards, so you can tell every connection was big yardage. A couple of touchdowns, obviously playing a major role in their 44-17 win over the Aggies. But in limited play this year for Utah State, 4 of 17, passing 27 yards. At the same time, current Wyoming quarterback Andrew Peasley was the backup to Logan Bonner at USU and played briefly in that Wyoming game last year through a couple of passes. I didn't connect. I think he might have had one of them intercepted. Listed by Wyoming now as a 6'2", 210-pound junior from La Grande, Oregon, so he's apparently got a little bigger from where we listed him. And in 4 years with the Aggies, played in 19 games, started twice, threw for 830 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I've always thought he was a really talented runner in those 4 years. He averaged 9 yards a carry. He had 515 yards total when he ran. Once threw for 239 yards in that 2020 game against New Mexico. Now, this year for Wyoming, his numbers 92 of 172, so he's a 54% thrower, just over 1,000 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, and he's still running well. He has a 5.4 yards a carry average, best on the team, 61-yard run against San Jose State, and he's one of the team's 4 seasons captains. He was a starter, or has been in every game this year. So for this game, Peasley is the presumptive starter for Wyoming, and for the Aggies, we assume Cooper Legault is with the concussion protocol and won't play. And if the foot injury to Levi Williams incurred last week in Fort Collins isn't better, he's probably not going to play. If it is better, then he's the likely starter over the freshman Bishop Davenport, who kind of saved the day at CSU. So definitely it could be Williams and Peasley starting for the other schools that they got, quote, traded for.
Friends on both sides in this game, too, for these guys. And here's Michael Anwanu, who was with Andrew Peasley really from the start at Utah State.
He's a great player. I mean, we know what we're going up against. He's a great player. He can use his feet. He has a great arm as well. So it's a tremendous challenge. I mean, going against somebody that I've been practicing against for 4 years. I mean, I know he can play. I don't know when the clock starts. I mean, it's on. I mean, we're both competitive. He's a competitive guy as well. I know that for a fact. He's a really competitive guy. So I know he's going to have the same mentality, and he's going to want to beat us. So we have to come with it every play.
That's Michael Anwanu on Peasley, but we know he's over on the Wyoming side, Craig, and they had a bye last week. But on our side, like you said, it's a little up in the air if it's could maybe be a Williams. But hey, I guess for health, Bishop Davenport looks like the guy.
Yeah, we saw him for the first time on a play at the end of the first half when he was forced in there with the what happened in the game. And then on his first 2 drives of the second half against CSU, he directed 2 drives to 2 scores. And for leading the Aggies to the win at CSU, he was named the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Week. He deserved that. He passed for 41 yards. He ran for 29 yards. He had a 4-yard touchdown run. He had the Aggies rallied to a 17-13 win. That touchdown, 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter, gave the Aggies the lead at 17-10, so technically the game winner, and held on from there. But the Aggies have a situation here. This is the first time since 2014 that they have lost their first 3 quarterbacks to injury and are working with their 4th. We assume that that's the case with Davenport in the lineup as of now. Aggie fans will remember circumstances because when Kent Myers came on as a true freshman after Chucky Keaton, Craig Harrison, and Darryl Garrettson were lost to injuries. Mm-hmm. This has happened before. We've seen it. So here we are. We're getting closer to kickoff here, and we really don't have a designated Aggie starting quarterback. And I mean, we were talking about this last week at CSU. Is the first time the Aggies have had 4 different Aggies throw a pass in a game since the Alabama game of 2004, which obviously doesn't happen a lot. Another rarity in Aggie passing annals, through 7 games this year, 7 Aggies have attempted passes. Logan Bonner, Cooper Legaw, Bishop Davenport, Levi Williams, Stephen Cotsanley, the punter, Brian Cobbs, receiver, and Terrell Vaughn. So we've had
Vaughn did it
lots
last
of guys
week.
throwing the
Yep,
ball.
he did it last week. Bishop Davenport, after the Colorado State win, first off, did he think he was really going to play? And then his reaction getting in there, and was he nervous or was he prepared for it all?
Not at all. I mean, I kind of go into every game trying to prepare myself that I am going to get in, but not at all. That it's an exciting feeling. It's like you're excited, but you have to focus on what you got to do to get the dub, and then you can celebrate and all stuff like that. So I'd stay focused, honestly, and stay calm and just not get overwhelmed by the situation. Mentally, probably like 90%. Physically, I wasn't ready.
He was not ready physically, and of course had no reps, as we heard from the coach last week. So that uncertainty at quarterback puts a lot of pressure, Craig, on 2 areas that I think we need to center in on. One is Calvin Tyler Jr. in the running game to be effective on offense, and then defense has got to keep going like they have the last couple of games performing.
So what the Aggies would like Calvin Tyler Jr. to do in this game is just tack on another one of these performances like he's had these last 3 100 yards plus games against BYU, Air Force, and CSU. He had 129 yards last week at Fort Collins. And the thing that has been most impressive is the way his yards per carry lately has just been going up. It's over 5 yards now or close to it each time he runs. As a unit, the Aggie running game has really hit its stride in these last 3 games, averaging almost 220 yards a game. They did almost exactly the same thing last season, but it was in the first 4 games of the year, not at this point, like in midseason. Mm-hmm. And then the last 10 games, they never came close to that last year. Right. Probably because they were throwing it so well and often, I'm not sure. So now on defense, the Aggie numbers indicate that, that things are really picking up momentum here. The last 4 games, opponents have struggled to get above 100 yards rushing. Now, the one exception is Air Force, but even Air Force's rush totals this year weren't what they've been in other years against the Aggies. And how about the Aggie pass defense, 25th in the country this week, and only allowed CSU 163 yards passing last Saturday, knocked 7 passes away. Remember how they shut down a really good receiver in Torrey Horton? Wyoming's going to throw it maybe 25 times a game. The only time they have thrown for more than 200 yards was against Tulsa, but the Aggie pass rush has improved, and the secondary is really playing well.
Yeah, and Daniel Grisiak said it was a team effort to get it done against Colorado State.
It was strapping up. I feel like I had a 5-second pass rush. They was doing their thing today. I love it. We getting better. We really getting better. I feel like this is a completely different team. Y'all look at week 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a completely different team. Completely different team. But, hey, we got to get back to work, improve, do it all again next week.
Again, is Daniel Grisiak. So, Craig, I'm going to talk to cornerback Michael Nwanyu later on our KVNU game day. So, Craig, let's center in right now on Wyoming. And we said they like the Aggies are 2-1 in conference play so far. So this is a key game.
Yeah, I'm just scanning their season. They beat Air Force. They beat New Mexico. They lost to San Jose State. So with an overall record of 4-3, 3 of their wins have been comebacks, really. Remember now, comparing the Aggie outcomes, the Aggies lost to a rated team in Alabama. Wyoming has lost to Illinois, which is now a rated team. They lost to BYU, which was rated when they beat Wyoming. So you could look at it that way. They beat Northern Colorado. They beat Tulsa. And, of course, it's difficult to forget the November 20th game of last year when they ended an Aggie 5-game winning streak with that win at Merlin Olsen Field that we just talked about. By halftime, they had built, Wyoming, a 24-17 lead. And for all the intents and purposes of the game, it was probably over then. The Aggies really didn't get much done in the second half. Were outscored 20-0 in that half. And Wyoming was a convincing winner with Levi Williams at quarterback. 10 Wyoming starters returned this year, but they did lose quite a bit of talent leaving through the transfer portal, including Levi Williams. So it's a young football team with a veteran coach in Craig Bohl, who once won 3 straight national titles at North Dakota State. He's a very well-respected guy. He's currently the president of the American Football Coaches Association. He started his season 12th among the winningest current FBS coaches. This is his 9th year at Wyoming, by the way.
Yeah, he's done a great job over there. And it's okay. Personnel-wise, then, for them to get people ready for tonight. Andrew Peasley, their quarterback, but what about the other weapons? Some of them we've seen before.
Yeah, from last year's game again, Titus Swin. He ran for 169 yards.
They had two guys over 100 against us last year.
He had those 2 touchdowns. As a team, they ran up 604 yards of total offense, including 380 on the ground. They have a new receiver this year. The Aggies do, Brian Cobbs. They have a veteran wideout in Joshua Cobbs, who is their receiving leader with 24 catches, 285 yards, a couple of touchdowns. And one of their stars is the kicker, John Hoyland. He went from a walk-on to a freshman All-American to one of America's really good placement kickers this year. He's averaging just over 2 field goals a game. He leads the nation. He scored 14 points last year against the Aggies. He had 3 field goals and 5 PATs. He just doesn't miss. And since the Aggies joined the Mountain West, the other thing that's fun to look at is their defense. They produced a couple linebackers that are still playing in the NFL, Chad Muma and Logan Wilson. Their linebacker now, Easton Gibbs, leads the team in tackles. They have Shea Sui Au Noah, who is and they've got those are linebackers, but they got a strong safety in Wyatt Eckler that apparently is going to be back in. He's been injured. Aggie coaches have a ton of respect for their defensive front that they put on the field.
And Colorado State was good up front. So Wade Meacham, the offensive lineman, said that might be a good preparation for this game.
I think it did a good job of preparing us for this upcoming game. I mean, all week, this last week, Coach was telling us that, this is going to be one of the tougher defenses in the conference that we see, in Colorado State. And it was a tough defense. Our offensive line in weeks past has struggled with, picking up twist games. And so that was a big challenge for us this week. And, we started off a little rusty with it in the game, but we're able to make some adjustments and clean it up a lot. So that's similar to what we're expecting from Wyoming, and hopefully that does a good job of preparing us. We can just take another step to clean it up even more.
Wade Meacham, the left guard for the Aggies. So, Craig, we didn't expect last week's game to be close. And I think if Lagasse stays in, we probably, again, score a whole lot more, and our defense was sound of the game. But this, to me, is a tougher-looking game in a lot of ways because of the uncertainties. And how do you see tonight?
Well, I start with the first uncertainty, and that is at quarterback. I just, you take Andrew Peasley, who's a veteran in some sense, and put him up against Bishop Davenport. I assume that's what it's going to be. That's a question mark. I know both of them played BYU about the same. Both beat the Air Force. Both cannot afford to lose again. We know that. I keep asking myself, which has the best defense? I think Andrew Peasley's experience in the lineup and the fact that he can run with the ball is a challenge the Aggies got to deal with.
And we are hearing through just Twitter now that Levi Williams is warming up on the field with Davenport. So maybe Levi can play, and maybe we do get the start that we were maybe anticipating of Williams for the Aggies and Peasley for Wyoming. Who knows what may end up happening in the game tonight. But over at Laramie, it's just windy. No snow, no moisture. It's in the 50s for the game. There won't be any problems. Not like here in Logan where it just about 5 o'clock started snowing a lot, and we've had accumulation enough where we've lost our TV signal here in the building. Our dish is covered up. Somebody's got to find a spot to get that uncovered so we can watch the game tonight on FS2 coming up at 7:45. But we've got a lot more coming up for you. In July, Craig did talk to that linebacker Gibbs and to Swain, the running back. And you know what's interesting? Swain at that time talked about this quarterback trade between the teams.
But I wasn't too excited about it because losing a quarterback that just had 5 touchdowns in a bowl game. That was I asked, where are you going, Levi? But he went to Utah State. Grateful for Peasley actually coming in here and taking over the job.
How about that? He's grateful for Peasley coming in. But Levi had those huge games against the Aggies and in that bowl game last year against Kent State. But Coach Bohl and Coach Anderson, of course, we got soundbite from the coaches coming up. We got some more from Bishop Davenport and Daniel Grishik. And Wade Meacham even talks more.
Having some quarterbacks that can scramble and threaten the defense with their feet more than and their arm at the same time kind of opens things up for us as an offensive line.
We know even Levi Williams can do that if he's healthy on that foot. And Michael Anwanyu, as we said, is our interview. Our Know Your Aggie feature with Eric Franson will be with MJ Tafisi. And, of course, we're going to talk more about, again, Andrew Peasley going off a transfer to the University of Wyoming. And we've got more coming up on Game Day. So before the FS2 broadcast, 7:45 tonight, Game Day brought to you by My Mattress. They're located by the South Walmart here in Logan, also in Riverdale. Again, when you love your mattress, you'll love My Mattress. And also brought to you by S.E. Needham Jewelers, the state's oldest jewelry store, where Utah gets engaged. Over 125 years of shopping at S.E. Needham Jewelers for diamond engagement ring sets. Then we will continue. We're on the Fan and KVNU with Game Day before the Aggies and the Cowboys tonight.
Thermo Fisher Scientific is hiring for their manufacturing, distribution, and warehouse team. And that's great news for anyone seeking a rewarding career. Thermo Fisher offers positions across multiple shifts, competitive compensation, health benefits, paid time off, bonuses, and an excellent work environment. Help Thermo Fisher make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Visit job.thermofisher.com and search Logan. Thermo Fisher Scientific is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
My name is Chris Hammond. My wife really appreciates a clean home, especially with 3 kids and 2 dogs. So when it comes to our carpets being cleaned, I always go to Daryl from ChemDry of Northern Utah. His team is quick, on time, and precise. They do a great job of making sure our home and our carpets are clean. Thank you, ChemDry of Northern Utah.
Turkey and other poultry prices are surging. What's going on?
435-752-6100. Remember last October's huge snowstorm that destroyed trees all over Cache Valley? Bobby and his crew at Hall Tree Care were the most popular guys in town.
Yeah, high five.
Not saying that will happen again. However, I just looked at the forecast for winter and it calls for snow. Snow can wreak havoc in your overgrown trees and shrubs, which can wreak even more havoc in your home and vehicles. Call Hall Tree Care before winter gets here. 760-6587. Ask about their radio discount. That's HULL Tree Care.
KVNU Game Day returns with Al Lewis, Patrick Hislop.
Huge road win, beautiful, pretty road win.
That's right. Utah State is on a 6-game Mountain West road winning streak going back to the Nevada loss in the COVID year. That was the coach after the win against Colorado State last Saturday night. The Aggies won the last time they played at War Memorial Stadium in Laramie. That was October 20th of 2018. They won 24-16. But the recent renewal of this now called the Bridgers Battle series shows wins for the Aggies in Laramie are kind of hard to get. They're only 2-3 over there in the recent renewal of the series. They've been 6-2 in home games. Remember, Wyoming won here last year. We didn't play the COVID year going over there. That was supposed to be the start for Cooper Legas, you may recall, a long time ago. But they play for this 50 caliber Rocky Mountain Hawken rifle. It's kind of like what the mountain man, the trapper Jim Bridgers, supposedly used. And that's now the trophy for the yearly winner of the Utah State-Wyoming game. Coach Blake Anderson is 0-1 in the series. You want the rifle?
Yeah, the trophy, I'll be truthful. I don't know a lot about it. I know I watched those guys carried off the field last year, and that was enough to piss me off. So we need to stay in control of our own destiny, and the only way to do that is keep winning, and that means going on the road. Wind will be blowing 30 miles an hour. It'll probably be pretty cold, and who knows who'll be playing for us. We got to find a way. The trophy would be a great consolation prize, but it has nothing to do with our conversation this week.
Again, it doesn't mean anything. It's on Twitter, but Levi Williams has warmed up on the field before the game, at least throwing the ball in uniform tonight for the Aggies in this one. Craig Bohl has gone 3-4 for the rifle up until now, and he made a great comment about it this week.
When we won it one year, I had it like that, and one of the general managers of the NFL texted me the picture, said, "What are you doing running around the stadium with a rifle?" So yeah, it was unloaded, but it's a big sucker. And we have it in a really nice, fancy case.
And the Cowboys and Bohl want to keep it in that permanent place for their fans to see. They did win it fair and square in that game in Logan last year. The only, again, time our Mountain West champion Aggies last year really were outplayed.
But their run play, shot play type of style, it killed us last year. We
We just didn't really have a good answer for it. So Peasley fits in very, very similarly to what they already have with Levi.
And again, it was 24-17 at the half, like Craig mentioned, went to 44-17. Their linebacker, Easton Gibbs, was proud of how, again, they took care of things last year in the Aggie Stadium.
We really had like a complete game going. We came in and we really were just like, we're looking to get bowl eligible, so that was a big motivator. And we kind of had a chip on our shoulder. It wasn't having the best year. At that point, we were kind of on a little skid, and we knew you guys were in the running for the whole thing, and we were like, let's just go make a statement.
They really made a statement, didn't they, last year? Of course, they went on and eventually got bowl eligible with that win. They won a bowl game last year at Boise. They actually won 3 consecutive bowls that they have been to. Aggies can't say that. Wyoming can. But can Wyoming duplicate this year what they pulled off last year? That was a key question to Craig Bohl at the press conference the other day.
You know what? These are meaningful games. And when you talk about spoilers, we felt good about our matchup last year. And I was a little bit surprised on the margin of victory. But, a great deal of respect for their program. I think the world of Coach Anderson. I know he's personally been through a lot. And their teams rally around that. But to play a meaningful game, yeah, you bet. There's a lot on the line. And so we're excited about that. And last year, I think we were just still trying to find our way. And not to say we're not trying to find our way, but we're in a different position right now.
Both teams 2-1, chasing Boise State in the division. Boise now leads 16-7 with 2 minutes left in the first half over Air Force. Over at Air Force. Defensive end Daniel Grishik was with Nevada last year. Wasn't even with the Aggies when they played Wyoming. Still, he's got the 27-point defeat from last year on his mind. As you can tell, he's been talking to his teammates.
Oh yeah, I heard about the game last year, and we can't let that happen again. So we all just last 2 weeks, everyone got to do their job, get responsibility. D-line, we have to create knockback. And, I think we're going to go out there and do a good job.
Talk more about the D-line coming up here on Game Day on The Fan and KVNU. But Wade Meacham, again, was a guy who was part of last year's game, lived it, and didn't love it at all.
Obviously, there's still a bit of a chip on our shoulders from last year. It's definitely a game we wish we could have back, but excited for this opportunity to line back up against them and prove that we're, at least as an offensive line, that we're a much better unit than we were last year. And hopefully we're even, obviously the record might not show that we're a better team than we were last year, but hopefully we can prove that this week we're a better team.
And again, Meacham is number 79 for the Aggies, 6'5", 310 pounds, graduate senior. He's a 2-year letterman out of Layton High School. He did not start the game last year, played briefly in the loss that we had last year in that game. And that was our attack then, of course, with Logan Bonner at quarterback. Now, Wyoming made it tough in that game. But no matter who goes at quarterback tonight, it's a change that can, again, he thinks they can make better again by how they play in this particular game. And Meacham said this about the quarterback spot.
It's a little different. Obviously, Cooper and Levi and even Bishop are a little bit more mobile, a little bit more of a threat in the run game. So I think it's honestly helped us a little bit. Obviously, we'd love to still have Logan in the backfield. He's been an amazing leader and inspiration to our team.
Is it, though, an issue as to which quarterback's back there, if it is Levi Williams tonight or if it is even Bishop, Davenport, Wade Meacham?
Honestly, it's the same for us. We try to go into each game with the mentality that the game's on our shoulders. A lot of times people will say that games are won or lost in the trenches, and I firmly believe that. Regardless of who's in the backfield, we got to make sure that they have time to throw the ball and that our running backs have holes to run through. And if we can make that happen, then I don't think it matters who's behind us. We can come home with a W.
I'm sorry, I keep making that mistake. In our valley, it's Meacham, but again, his is Meacham and his family, so I do apologize for that. But again, with the former USU quarterback, Andrew Peasley, on the other side now, he had 2 starts for us in the COVID season, but in 10 games last year and the year before, including 0-2 with an interception against Cowboys last year, he now runs this Wyoming attack that does want to run the ball first. And he can keep it there, obviously, as we've learned and seen from his abilities. So, again, let's go back to Daniel Grishik on their system of, again, a running quarterback and not throwing a whole lot.
Well, yeah, they're not going to throw the ball as much, but I can still stop the run, too. So, I mean, I'm going to do my job. It's just not going to show up as much as in the stat sheet. But, hey, if they do drop back and pass, oh, yeah, it's going to happen again, hopefully.
Because they really went after the Colorado State quarterback last week in passing situations. Did want to get Meacham in, wanting to talk about his former teammate and quarterback that he won't really go out against, again, head-to-head in Andrew Peasley. But here's what, again, Wade had to say about him.
Andrew is a great guy. He's an awesome athlete, great quarterback. We were really sad to see him go. But, you know, we weren't the closest of friends, but, you know, we hung out quite a bit and, you know, talked a bunch. Super excited to, you know, see him again this week and wish him the best.
And we will be talking more about him and this one on our KVNU game day before the 7:45 kickoff, scheduled on, again, FS2. That's DirecTV 618, Dish Network 149, and Comcast, it's 264, or HD, it is 722 for the game tonight for you to watch it. Next, we do have my Aggie interview coming up with the senior cornerback Michael Anwanyu coming up.
I mean, like you said, I've been here long enough. I know what winning looks like and also know what losing looks like, unfortunately. So as a team, just getting everybody not to look too far ahead or not to look too far behind us either.
And always on game day, it's fun to have our Aggie, Know Your Aggie features with Eric Franson. MJ Tafisi, who's turned into one of the best tacklers now in the NCAA college ranks. We're going to find out he's an artist and really loves his family. It's all coming up next. Again, Game Day on KVNU brought to you tonight by, make sure you're always watching the game at Prodigy Brewing in downtown Logan on Center Street. First and only brew pub on Center Street with their pizza, burgers, and brews and great times for the whole family. Again, Prodigy Brewing and DD Auto and Salvage. 787-1204, their number to get rid of your junk vehicles. Give them a call on Monday, 787-1204, to really clean out, again, that junk vehicle. It's Game Day on The Fan and KVNU. Aggies in Wyoming coming up tonight.
What's more important than sleep? Granted, some things are, but not many. This is Ryan at My Mattress, and here we offer the best solution to better sleep, a better mattress. IntelliBed, the gel mattress, cradles your hips and shoulders while providing the best back support possible. Or come in and choose a Tempur-Pedic that boasts 93% of their owners love their bed. My Mattress, offering the best sleep possible by the South Walmart.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center are now located in Providence, and Cache Valley's newest and most up-to-date medical clinic located at 2245 North 400 East in North Logan, just south of Cache Valley Hospital. The entire staff and Dr. Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette look forward to helping you and your family at this state-of-the-art medical facility. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is now located in Providence, and their new office at 2245 North 400 East in North Logan. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted.
You're first and goal at the 10-yard line with seconds left on the clock. Your running back is poised for the game-winning touchdown, but before you can make the snap, the opposing team just takes the ball and locks it in a safe, and they won't give you the combination unless you pay them $10,000. That's exactly how ransomware works. And in 2021, 2 out of every 3 organizations fell victim to ransomware attacks. Protect your business with Les Olson Security Suite from Les Olson IT. Learn more at lesolson.com.
Clean it up and get it out before the snow flies. Don't wait another winter. Let DD Auto and Salvage pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Cache Valley Bank on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Couple quick updates for you. Fresno State leading New Mexico 27-6 in the third quarter. That's the game that's on FS2 before the Aggies and Wyoming tonight. And at the half, Boise State 19, Air Force 7. So they kick a field goal at the end of the first half. So Boise's been in command, and they still are in that game over there. Incidentally, Alabama leads Mississippi State 24-0 in the second quarter. Penn State leading Minnesota in the second quarter 10-3, and TCU over Kansas State 10-7 in the first quarter of their game tonight. Earlier, if you missed it, BYU lost to Liberty. They were up 14-3 and got outscored 38-0 the rest of the game, and they lost 41-14 to Liberty to drop to 4-4 in their game today. And the Mountain Crest girls won their second in a row state championship in soccer. They beat Snow Canyon 3-0 today. How about that? Know Your Aggies is always brought to you on game day by Thermo Fisher Scientific. That's right, making the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. It's Thermo Fisher Scientific that brings you Eric Franson and an Aggie.
Okay, getting to know MJ Tafisi, one of the newcomers to Utah State University. There are no wrong answers here, so just whatever comes to your mind, okay? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Wherever family is. So Utah.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's safe. Do you have a favorite movie?
I would say my favorite movie is Ip Man.
Ip Man? Yeah. Why does that one stand out for you?
I like the Chinese culture and karate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. What makes you laugh the most?
I don't know. That's hard because I laugh at everything. I think what makes me laugh the most is my younger brothers. They're probably the funniest people I've ever met. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say.
That's good. That's good. Younger siblings can push you around. That's okay. You can push them back. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I've always wanted to be an artist. I was more into pencil and pen drawings.
Okay.
Growing up, I used to draw on people's hats and shoes for money.
Really?
Yeah, mostly like Polynesian tribal designs. I'm more into figures now, but yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's very cool. Are there places where people can see your work? If somebody wants something to see what you've done, maybe buy some stuff?
I haven't taken any pictures, no, but I mean, it runs in the family, so you can look at my brother's stuff.
Very cool. All right, and then last question. Are you a Marvel guy or a DC guy, or not into those comic movies?
I haven't really been into those comic movies, so I'm sorry. I'm more into Mortal Kombat.
There you go. Very good. MJ Tafisi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Number 2, the inside linebacker, MJ Tafisi. He's had 2 consecutive double-digit tackle games going into this one tonight. He had 12 stops against Colorado State, tackle and a half for a loss. It was a career-high 13 he had against Air Force for the transfer from Washington. His teammate, though, A.J. Von Pachong, also very good the past 2 victories. He had 13 stops against Falcons as well, and then against the Rams last week, 9 tackles, a pass breakup, a quarterback hurry, to his defensive credit. A.J. has had at least 9 tackles in each of the last 5 games as Coach Blake Anderson sees this Utah State linebacker play really starting to elevate.
Yeah, it's been huge. When you consider just the void that is left with a guy like Justin Rice, who's played thousands of snaps and played at such a high level, to be able to bring MJ in and him step in, and AJ really has just continued to grow up and become such a solid player. We have played a couple of others, but it has been very sparingly. Those 2 have handled the bulk of the load. They also play on special teams and have been extremely solid. And the other night played downhill. With the exception of early in the first quarter where we missed some tackles, they played lights out all night long. And I think they responded to that one drive and went out and played as good as they could the rest of the game. But I think just the confidence that we have with those guys and how calm they are and just kind of the veteran, mature approach that they take on a daily basis, because they practice just as well and as hard as they play. They prepare extremely well. There's a sense of leadership and calmness that they bring to the table, both of those guys.
There is a worry behind him, though, if we had to go very deep, if one of them got hurt. So let's hope that MJ Tafisi, A.J. Von Pachong continue to play, because we know the offense under Bishop Davenport did get those 2 drives to open the second half last Saturday at Fort Collins to get the Aggies the lead. But Anderson and all of us know that really we have to say the defense won the Colorado State game.
Our defense stood up to have 3 possessions inside the scoring area, down in field goal range for sure, to only give up 6 points. Honestly, that's the game right there. Our defense's ability to create backed up defense and make them kick field goals and get one of them we'll get one of them to end up in a 0-point drive. That's the game. In a nutshell, they played lights out when we had to have them, and those 3 drives are what changed the game for us.
As you reflect, it just seems lately the whole defense is just making the right steps or the right plays at the right time after a drive early in games. They seem to maybe give up a score and miss some tackles like the coach mentioned against Colorado State. And then, of course, the yards under Ephraim Bonda's defense, boys, they found their legs in the second half against Colorado State. It seems like that happened against Air Force as well. And Wyoming coach Craig Bohl sees that for Utah State, it starts right up front.
It's a challenging defense. I think number 11, Vaughns, who started out at the University of Texas, and Coach Giles knows about him well. He plays with high energy. He's very disruptive. Matter of fact, their whole front is disruptive, and they're solid on the back end. So it's no mistake. They're trending up. We're excited about playing at home.
Now, Coach Bohl, of course, high on, and you're talking about the playmaking ability of Byron Vaughns, who had to leave the game last Saturday in the fourth quarter, taking a headshot. So we don't know what his status is for the game tonight, along with Cooper Laga and the concussion protocol and all. But teammate Daniel Grishik says that if he can't go, we'll still have guys up front that will make plays, and he's, of course, a part of it.
Oh, man. Pat, Pat, he veteran. Pat already knows the deal. He just be dealing with injuries. But Pat good. You ain't got to worry about Pat. And then John, John picked it up. John been starting to pick it up. He was getting a little pressure on the quarterback. John's going to be great. We got a lot. We don't got a lot of depth, but we got good quality players.
John Ward is a transfer, I think, from UCLA or USC to the Aggie program that is starting to see a little bit more playing time up there on the front line as well. So you add the front line to MJ and AJ at linebacker going into the game. And let's talk secondary now, because against Colorado State, and at the time, it was the top pass receiver in the Mountain West Conference. He was top 10 in the nation in catching, and Torrey Horton for the Rams. Corners and safeties kept him without a catch in the game last Saturday night.
No, we controlled him fairly well, and we did get matched up in some one-on-one situations. I did not agree with the PI there late. I thought he played it fairly well. The one they called on AJ I thought was a good call. He didn't look for the ball, but to have the ball in the air that many times with a guy like Horton being as talented as he is, and I don't think he's the only talented guy. They've got several that are going to be really good players. We defended well in the back end. And a lot of that had to do with the pass rush we talked about, but we played competitively at the point of attack in the back end and have done that several weeks in a row. We did not do that well early in the year. We really struggled in one-on-one situations early in the year, and I've been very, very proud of Mike and Dre and AJ, how competitive we've gotten, when the ball's put in the air. And we got to continue to do that, but tonight it made a big difference.
And again, as he calls it, the back end, that's the secondary of a defense. 5 guys start back there, but again, at least one other cornerback and one safety, and maybe one other striker, and then 2 safeties are playing a lot, particularly. It seems like, is this a little bit of a platoon situation back there, Coach, now with what's going on?
There's a little bit of everything in that. Some of it has to do with keeping them fresh. Both have been dinged up at some point and tend to do better when they can get a little break. Some of it has to do with sub-packaging. They're both involved in sub-packages, which clearly we love to get people on schedule and be able to package and match up, and that gives us the versatility to do that. And at times maybe, I would have to ask the defense staff a little bit more specifically, but at times there may have been some matchups that we were looking for.
And in particular, at Fort Collins on Saturday night, Michael Anwanyu, back. His shoulder popped out in the BYU game. Couldn't play as much against Air Force, but boy, did he make tackles and plays against Horton and those CSU receivers. So I had a chance to talk to him in my Aggie interview on Tuesday, and the interview tonight on Game Day on the Sports Talk Radio The Fan and News Talk KVNU, brought to you by LSS Insurance. They've got some special deals going on right now with one particular Medicare insurance plan that you need to find out about. It's something they're brand new and excited about this year. So if you're in Medicare already, it's the time you can change your plans. Get with them, 752-9493, or check all the details at lssins.com. Again, as I had a chance to sit down and talk to Michael Anwanyu, well, actually, we stood on the Aggie practice field. First off, Michael, tremendous game you had last week against Colorado State against a really good receiver. Talk a little bit about that game.
That was a challenge. So we talked about it all week, how challenging it was going to be to line up against those receivers and play a lot of man, which is something that we do. So we just accepted the challenge in the corner room, and we just said, we're going to buckle our straps down and we're going to get up there and press them and challenge them like we've done all year.
What's the challenge as a defensive back to get the ball knocked out of guys' arms when the ball gets there? Because oftentimes you're chasing or you're in a position where sometimes you maybe don't know the ball's there till all of a sudden he's trying to grab it.
Right. Yeah, Coach Bonner calls it being combative, and I couldn't put it any better than that, being violent and combative. When the ball's in the air, it has to be ours or nobody's. That's the mentality you've got to have as a defensive back, and that's kind of what we stuck with in the defensive back room. Every time the ball's in the air, nobody catches it or we do. So it's about being violent on the finish and very intent with especially with what we do in practice and individual work. We're very intentional with how we do we finish everything. We catch a ball, we're running through a line, or if somebody's going up to catch the ball, we're violent with our punch. It's just everyday stuff that we do that translates to the game on Saturday.
Yeah, because you wouldn't really think of guys your stature being physical, but you really want to be physical at a certain time of the game to make the plays and not hit early or not grab a guy or anything like that.
Yes, Lord, yes. Like I said, it's about intention. Stuff that we do every day in practice and the drills that we do really put us in position to make plays on Saturday. It's just about it's just a mindset, really. Playing defensive back is a lot about a mindset and just having that mindset that you got to win every rep.
Well, you've won 2 games to keep where you want to be. You have to kind of keep winning to stay where you want to be. Michael, you've been here long enough to kind of know what this is all about and things like that. You've seen some good and you've seen some bad in the years you've been here.
Yes, sir. I think the next step is just going 1-0. I mean, focusing on this week, focusing on Wyoming, a really good football team. Like you said, I've been here long enough. I know what winning looks like and also know what losing looks like, unfortunately. So I think as a team, just getting everybody not to look too far ahead or not to look too far behind us either. Last week was last week. It was a great game, but today's Tuesday and it's a work day. We're working on Wyoming. We're on Wyoming now, so this is the most important game of the season because it's the next one. So we're just trying to go 1-0 this week.
Let me ask you the obvious. We're all looking at Andrew Peasley, and you will be going against him. You probably have had some practice reps against him before. What is that like?
He's a great player. I mean, we know what we're going up against. He's a great player. He can use his feet. He has a great arm as well. So it's a tremendous challenge. I mean, going against somebody that I've been practicing against for 4 years. I mean, I know he can play, and so do these coaches and the rest of these guys on the field. So we're really ready for this week, and we're going to bring our best.
Because, I mean, I would imagine a lot of you guys were pretty close. You did a lot of things as a team with him.
It's always tough going against the guys that you were teammates with. There's just a bond, there's a friendship, but I don't know, when the clock starts, I mean, it's on. I mean, we're both competitive. He's a competitive guy as well. I know that for a fact. He's a really competitive guy, so I know he's gonna have the same mentality and he's gonna want to beat us. So we have to come with it every play.
And I guess it looks like their offense, they want a ball control. If they can run, they will run, but obviously then that opens up when they're probably trying to get with some kind of big pass.
Yeah, that's really their offense. It's kind of like what we saw at Air Force. It's a lot of run, and lull the defensive backs to sleep and then throw a big pass over their head. So it's all about being intentional, like I said, and just having a level of focus that all of us have, you know what I'm saying? So every play has got to be 100%. We've got to dominate up front and in the back end.
Michael Anwan, you with us. What's your recruiting story to come to Utah State? Why did you come from Covina, California up to here?
Yeah, I tell people this all the time. It was just kind of I had been from a big city my whole life, and I wanted to see something different. So when I took my visits, to a couple places. I took all 5 of my visits, and I came here, and it was the first time I had seen snow. And so that kind of intrigued me. But it was also somewhere I saw as an opportunity to just focus. Like I saw a small college town. Wasn't too much around me and it wasn't too much distractions. I've been around big cities, so that's not something I wanted to do. I wanted to be far enough from home, but not too far from home. And I wanted to be able to really focus in on school and football for 4 to 5 years of my life. So, and I thought was a perfect opportunity, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
You know, technically, I guess you're listed as a senior, but you could play one more year. Where are you with school? How's that going?
Yeah, I graduate right after this semester. And in terms of on the field, that's something that I've talked about with a lot of people. But I'm planning on coming back and playing another year. I mean, I love these coaches. I love what they bring. I love these young guys that I'm stepping into a leadership role, and I want to continue to build that. I want to continue to do what I've been doing on the field as well. So I think it's a great opportunity for me to come back. I think it's a blessing that I get another year to be in Logan, to be in this program, to be with these coaches, be with these players, be with my brothers. So I'm very happy I'm excited for next year, but also focus on finishing this year off strong as well.
Well, you had a tremendous game. One of the leaders now in the conference, if not in the nation, and passes defended and knocked down. Great job. And again, keep playing well and keep winning. 1-0.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. 1-0.
Michael.
Go Aggies.
Michael Anwanyu, 5'9", 165, three-year Letterman senior out of Covina, California. Looks like he and Andre Grayson may have to take care of things on the corner because Johnny Carter, according to Twitter, is in a boot tonight. Maybe not playing. I don't know about Byron Vaughns. I do know Levi Williams has warmed up on the field before the game. So, again, that's what I'm hearing. And, of course, it is in the 50s and windy. It's not snowing. There's no moisture problems tonight. The wind will be the big deal over there at Laramie. We're brought to you on game day by, again, if you're looking for a new appliance, look no further than Daryl's Appliance. They're on Airport Road in Benson with all the great brand names, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag available. First thing on Monday. And also Jerrick's Fine Jewelry, 930 North Main. Always make it special, make it Jerrick's. They bring you game day, and we'll return with more. And in fact, in the next segment, Craig Hislop has a couple of interviews tonight. One, he's going to sit down with two Wyoming players. Remember, last year against the Aggies, Titus Swen in the stadium went 98 yards.
I almost fumbled the ball because I was running so fast. I was trying to, pump my arms, and the ball almost popped out. And I was like, oh, no. Grabbed security again. Kept running, looked at the Jumbotron. I saw the safety running full speed after me. I was like, I gotta make a left or a right. And he just soon made it right. He dove, missed. I was like, oh yeah, I'm home free now.
Can you imagine a player looking at the Jumbotron at the stadium while they're running to the north there? I mean, that was interesting. And then also, of course, we need to talk about Andrew Peasley more tonight in this game, who transferred from Utah State in the transfer portal.
The transfer portal's weird, but I think if you make the right decision, then it can all work out for you. So.
Sounds like it's worked out for him. He talked about that with me last year. We'll have that coming up. Sponsors also, of course, include Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, 752-7272. Boy, is it cooler tonight. We're at 32 degrees in Logan. It's been down to 30 with the snow. So, again, you want the heater to keep working, your furnace to keep working, and Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning will make sure that happens. They bring you game day here on Sports Talk Radio The Fan and on KVNU. Al Lewis here. We'll return with more.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. You know, it isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Join us at Prodigy Brewing to celebrate Oktoberfest. Delicious specials going on now through the end of October. Come on down and enjoy brats and German potato salad served with our house-made sauerkraut and mustard, tankards and house-brewed beer. You keep the tankard. Find us on Instagram for updates on new events throughout the month of October. Whether you're out with the family or friends, Prodigy Brewing is the place to be in Cache Valley, located at 25 West Center Street in beautiful downtown Logan.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. We offer a large selection of personalized service and extraordinary benefits with our integrity price guarantee. At Match Quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing, so you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Has inflation got you down? This is Zach with HSA Depot. Did you know you can save money by using your pre-tax income to buy qualifying medical supplies? Health savings and flex spending accounts can be used for more than just doctor visits and prescriptions. HSA Depot helps you conquer your health care by providing HSA and FSA eligible products, taking the guesswork out of the process. Come to HSA Depot next to Sally Beauty and see how much you can save. HSA Depot, 5-star review.
KVNU Game Day returns with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis.
I was concerned going down to Albuquerque that we had a 7-week hard stretch and we weren't going to have enough gas in the tank to get a W. And we did, but now it's going to be important to get to 1-0.
Craig Bohl's team rallied to win at New Mexico 27-14. And then they had a bye last Saturday, so they get to 4-3, and they're 2-1 in the Mountain Division going into the game tonight. They had lost their previous 2 games. He was, of course, a Nebraska player and coach. Now he's had 20 years as a head coach, national titles at North Dakota State, came out of the tops of the FCS ranks. Got to talk about Weber State's game today. Did you hear they had 4 punt snaps over the punter's head and they scored on a punt return? I mean, punting was great, but it was horrible, and they lost the game in a close one to Montana State today. But again, speaking of the FCS. But let's get back to Craig Bohl here. 9 years now at Laramie. He's one of the real solid people I've met down through the years. I have had a couple of dealings with him with interviews and all. I remember one time we were playing basketball in San Diego. Who runs by us? He's out jogging in San Diego, Craig Bohl. We stopped him, talked to him for a while. Just a really nice guy. He's now the president, as Craig mentioned, of the American Football Coaches Association. And Blake Anderson seems to agree with all the accolades for Craig Bohl.
I think he does an amazing job of finding value in the recruiting aspect and evaluating and developing talent at a place that is tough to do it. He did it at North Dakota State. He's done the same thing there, and year in, year out, they had a ton of guys leave to the portal, and you can't tell. They still are playing an extremely high level. They're well coached. They don't make many mistakes. They are extremely disciplined. They play downhill, big boy, violent, hit you in the mouth football, and that's who he is. He's won more games than most people in the country could even think of winning, and been in huge games, and they don't panic. So tremendous amount of respect for him as a person and a coach. I know him personally, and I've been on director of the board meetings with him year after year in the AFCA. I know how respected he is in the profession, but just personally, I mean, you'd love to have his kind of win-loss record when you're done, his kind of career when you're done. And I know he's not done yet. His guys are going to play hard. It's going to be a tremendous challenge.
Yeah, in fact, he's way up there in the national stats. I think, again, what is he, like the 12th most wins of active coaches, 153. He's won 49 going for his 50th Wyoming against the Aggies tonight. Craig sat down with him in Las Vegas, and he's been doing that the last couple of years with the interviews on Media Day, and we think they're interesting. So let's listen to what he had to say. Brought to you by Elements Restaurant. Elements, again, your answer with pastas and steaks and chicken, seafood, wood-fired pizzas. Go down there in their bar area. They probably got the game on tonight, coming up here at 7:45 on FS2. Here's Craig with the coach of the Wyoming Cowboys.
Coming up October 22nd, the Aggies and the Wyoming Cowboys play in the 72nd game in this rivalry's history. But something, Coach Bohl is with me, the 9th-year head coach here at Wyoming. Something is really unique happening in October. The Aggies play back-to-back games on the road at CSU and Wyoming for the first time since 1915. And those are tough places to play to start with. If you were the Aggie coach and you saw that, would you be concerned?
You know, you always look at the schedule, and I can tell you, I'm sure Coach Anderson, I mean, you play what's there. You certainly look at some of the challenges that are out there. But I know they have a great program, a competitive. We're looking forward to having the Aggies come to Laramie.
I thought your attitude would be, it only happens every 107 years. Live with it.
Well, you know what? We've got a great deal of respect, and Coach and I are dear friends. And, you know, as you mentioned, just the rivalry that we've had the last several years since I've been in the league has really been exceptional.
Game 11 last year. And Wyoming comes to town. Aggie fans were stunned. It was a 44-17 beating by the Cowboys of Merlin Olsen Field. You guys won 7 last year. Your win over Ball State was a similar score. I would think, though, the game against the Aggies had to be near the top of the best games you guys played.
Yeah, that was the most complete game that we played, and you know, I thought we had a good matchup going in. We were fairly healthy. You know, every Saturday's different. You know, I was a little bit surprised, quite frankly, in the fourth quarter how the game was going. It was certainly, you know, the highlight of our year. And then, you know, Utah State had a lot to play for in the game, but then bounced back. And it really ended up with a great year, and then, of course, represented the conference well in the LA Bowl.
The other note here, and you don't see this often, it's an off-season thing where your quarterback, Levi Williams, transfers to Utah State. USU's Andrew Peasley goes the other way.
you know what, it's almost like the NFL. I can remember this whole deal was coming about, and I said, this can't be happening. And, certainly want to wish Levi well. I can tell you, I've really enjoyed getting to know Andrew, his family. He's meshed in really well with our program. His parents both grew up on cattle ranches. He drives a pickup. And so I think that there's a lot of things he's really comfortable with. We're glad that he's a Cowboy.
A preseason publication I read said in spring ball, Peasley showed the kind of swagger the Cowboys haven't seen since Josh Allen. Is that accurate?
Oh, that's a pretty big statement. I don't know if I made that. Somebody made that. I think Andrew has the ability to make plays. We have some open competition. We have not named our starter yet. Andrew certainly did well during the course of the spring, and one of the things that he was really, really capable of doing is making some plays that are unscripted. Many times as coaches you go through and you try to plan out everything, and typically that's not how a play operates. And so I think he's been really, really resourceful. And the other thing about him is he's really in a short amount of time meshed in with our players, and that is so important at the quarterback position.
Well, with the background you told us about, he's probably a Cowboy anyway.
But there's no doubt about it. And, that's one of the things as you go through this whole transfer situations, there's certainly some challenges that are out there, but some great opportunities. And here's a great opportunity for Andrew. He graduated from Utah State. He's got a meaningful degree. Wanted to have an opportunity to maybe take his skill set to a different place. I think I don't know what the word would be, with Levi going there and we take Andrew, we got a quarterback trade. We'll see which one comes out on top.
And they could start against each other tonight, again, if Levi Williams has that foot ready to go in this competition tonight. They had 17 players leave Wyoming last year that still had eligibility left. They picked up 8 transfers, 6 major colleges. One guy from USC, one from Alabama have transferred in, but they're not playing yet for Wyoming. I don't know what. But, of course, again, that was Craig talking to the coach down in Las Vegas in July. And, again, this story, if you missed it earlier on our KVNU Game Day, or if you didn't know, Andrew Peasley, 4 years with the Aggies, and now he is the Cowboys quarterback. Remember, he became the starter in our pandemic year until he was hurt. Cooper Legas was supposed to start that game against Wyoming that got canceled, and so was the Colorado State finale that year. But again, it was a new coach and regime. He had come in, I think it was recruited, as I recall, with Matt Wells, and then all of a sudden Blake Anderson, of course, is now here after Gary Anderson. And here's Blake bringing his former quarterback Logan Bonner with him to Utah State as well. When I sat with Andrew a year ago in August about his feelings, certainly he says that, again, his feeling, we had brought in a bunch of transfers, remember, going into last year. And he said he was sticking with the Aggies at the time. But here was an interesting thing he said.
I think you need to have a solid reason to leave, not just I'm not playing or whatever, But it also can help teams bringing in guys, Justin Rice, all the guys we brought in this semester. So, yeah, I don't know. The transfer portal's weird, but I think if you make the right decision, then it can all work out for you.
He graduated from Utah State, decided the time was right to move with Bonner coming back and with Legas playing in the bowl game like it was and him looking for more playing time. He played a lot, remember, last year. Helped big in the wins against Washington State and Air Force earlier. He was hurt later in the year, and that's why Legas got into the bowl game. And with Logan coming back, he decided again to make that move. More from Coach Anderson on this coming up, but did you hear what he said this week in our press conference?
I cried when the kid told me he was leaving. I love the kid and love what he brought to our table.
How about that? And also, of course, Anderson's been evaluating who's the right quarterback to go tonight with all the health factors stacked in. Already 4 U's this year, past Peasley, who's off to Wyoming. Will it be the freshman Bishop Davenport again tonight? On the sidelines last week, he got all the help he needed.
Just keep me motivated, make jokes, stuff like that. Just tell me you do me, just stay comfortable.
Let's keep up on the quarterback stories as we continue on game day tonight. Again, brought to you by HSA Depot. That's by Sally's Beauty in Logan, where you can conquer your healthcare situations. You can see them online, hsa-depot.com. Again, that's the store where you can confidently use your HSA or FSA to buy your medical supplies. And also brought to you by, speaking of medical supplies, Alpine Home Medical. That's right. Compression stockings, CPAP supplies, lift chairs, oxygen supplies. Look no further than Alpine Home Medical. Again, 774 4500, their phone number here locally. They bring you the Game Day on the Fan and KVNU, and we're coming right back. Kickoff is 7:45 on FS2 TV tonight for the Aggies and Cowboys.
Are you a small business owner? Who's your bank? This is Bruce Rigby. I want to invite you to bank with us at Cache Valley Bank. We specialize in helping small business, and we have great people. That's the Cache Valley Bank difference. Decisions made locally, without all the red tape, by people who care and know how to help small business. Cache Valley Bank, growing, expanding, and proud to have our roots firmly planted in Cache Valley. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Advanced Heating and AC, the two-time gold medal winner in Best in Northern Utah. They're teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you the best furnace units available, and now's the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, 752-7272, or stop by their showroom west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Why schedule your appliance repair with Daryl's? Because we are factory trained and have experience and parts in stock to get your appliance fixed efficiently and quickly. Hi, I'm Brian, the service manager at Daryl's. We guarantee your satisfaction and promise to give you the 5-star service you deserve. Remember, we can compete with their price, but they can't compete with our service. Daryl's, west on Airport Road. Open till 6 on weekdays, 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
See Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
Aegis Home Health and Hospice loves helping the people they serve. Aegis is a home health and hospice organization that lives by core values of character, experience, and trust. Every day, Aegis' goal is to help you with whatever your healthcare needs are and to do it wherever you need us to. Aegis, A-E-G-I-S, Aegis Home Health and Hospice. Call 723-9000 or find them at myaegis.com.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by ChemDry of Northern Utah on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
So I think especially for somebody as young as Bishop, no reps, everything else, the fact that he just got chucked out there to the Wolves and it was just muscle memory, like you said, and just going back to what, he's done up to this point probably was better.
We're going to miss Ryan Boehm's post-game analysis tonight. That's what he was saying last week. He thought maybe it was almost a blessing that, again, Bishop Davenport came in kind of like he did under the circumstances. And before he could think about things, he had to direct the team down the field for a field goal and touchdown to get the lead, and then let the defense take care of things. And he just kept handing it off to Calvin Tyler and running the clock and all of that. But Ryan's traveling this week. But Zach and Travis Van Leeuwen will join Eric Frandsen and myself after the game. Tonight here, it's Al Lewis along with them on Aggie Game Day, post-game Aggie call. Tonight, hopefully it'll be before 11 o'clock for all of you to call in from the Aggie Nation and join with us on texts or phone calls tonight for sure. Let's update you on the games that are going on. Incidentally, the Astros did beat the Yankees 5-0, and they lead the series 3-0. And the Phillies and Padres are kind of going back and forth in their game right now. But Fresno State 34, New Mexico 9, down to the last 11 minutes of the game. That's on FS1 before the Aggies game. And Boise State 19-7 over Air Force now, and they are about the 8-minute mark of the third quarter in that game. Alabama big lead on Mississippi State, Penn State leading Minnesota. Got Kansas State over TCU. Today in the college football, if you missed it earlier today, Oregon 45, UCLA 30, Ohio State 54, Iowa 10, Tennessee 65, UT Martin 24. Number 5, Clemson 27-21 over number 14, Syracuse. They had to rally back to win that game. Liberty beat BYU 41-14. Stephen F. Austin beat Southern Utah 41-38. And we mentioned it. It was Montana State 43, Weber State 38. 4 bad snaps over the punter's head for safeties. 8 points in the game against Weber, an FBS record in a game. They lose by 5. They give up 8 there, and they did score on a punt return in the game. And Oklahoma State 41, Texas 34. If you missed it earlier, we mentioned that Utah State, or the Mountain Crest girls won the state soccer championship 3-0. They defended their title. They gave up no goals this year to any 4A team. Jason Turner, I saw in the Herald Journal, tweeted out that's over 1,000 minutes of playing time. They never gave up a goal to a 4A team this year as they win back-to-back years. for the title. Justin Buse, the team, he's the coach and the team. Congratulations. And I noticed also a couple of other quick Aggie notes. Eric Mon passed away in the last week. 77-year-old former running back for the Aggies in the 60s for the Tony Knapp teams. He was a good running back. He passed away at 77. Marquand Ellison, who played for the Aggies around the Zach Van Leeuwen years. He has become a policeman in Milwaukee, and I saw on Facebook he was really proud about going through the police academy, becoming a policeman back there. I think that's neat. He was from back in that area. And Jalen Sargent is a redshirt freshman on the Wyoming roster, the former Logan High player. He hasn't played yet in a game. I don't see him with any stats, but he, of course, will be interested, I'm sure, in this game here tonight. It for sure doesn't look like Cooper Legault, but Levi Williams has warmed up some. He threw a little bit earlier in practice this week. Injuries against Colorado State. Know for sure that Coach Tucker and Coach Anderson and the offensive staff have gotten Bishop Davenport, though, more up to speed on what he can do with the Pokes defense tonight. Last week, remember after the game, the coach said this about Bishop?
Bishop has had no reps with our offense other than just drill work, and to go out and to be able to do what he did says a lot about just his poise and what really he's capable of moving forward.
So on Monday of game week this week, Coach Anderson said at his press conference,
it is safe to say he will get plenty of reps this week with Levi beat up and Coop beat up and all of them being day-to-day. We'll get him reps and get him ready. With reps, you'd like to think we could put together a very sound game plan that allows him to utilize his skill set. But also we'll be day-to-day in terms of what the other guys can and cannot do. So we'll prepare with him and prepare without him, but he will get reps for the first time since fall camp, which is only going to help him.
And Bishop, the first true freshman to play at quarterback since Andrew Peasley for the Aggies in 2018. So if it is the freshman, all of the team seems to now know whatever the coaches, again, saw when they recruited him out of Spring, Texas, and Spring High School down in Texas, that Bishop can play with the poise. A teammate, Daniel Grishik, said this week.
Well, we see Bishop every day doing his little quarterback drills, little cute drills, But, hey, it's working. He came in there cool, calm, collective. I couldn't tell you a freshman. He came in there, ran, threw good balls, didn't throw it to the defense. So, man, Bishop going to be good. Bishop going to be real good.
And we want to see for sure tonight, or maybe, again, you can't go to practice. When I was going to talk to Michael Anwanyu, I did see Levi throwing, like I said, and it sounds like he has thrown on the field before. Can you imagine if it is Levi against Andrew, what kind of story you get about the NCAA's trade in the transfer portal tonight, as we talked about? You heard what the coach said as Andrew left in early 2022 to transfer. And then, of course, to have to replace the huge playmaking abilities that he gets. And now, of course, then you get the victories, Levi Williams against us and in the bowl game. I mean, Peasley is doing it this year, having a terrific season over at Wyoming, the way he's throwing the ball, Coach.
Yeah, he's done exactly what I expected. He hurts people with his feet anytime they're not really sound, and making sure they account for him. We always knew the good dude could fly. He's got power to throw the ball anywhere on the field, and he's doing that as well. The system is different, and I think he's done a good job of just stepping in and playing within the system that they have. It's a ball control, run, play action, pass, shot type system, and I think he brings a dimension to the table that they weren't sure they were going to have. Now, we saw Levi run the ball extremely well in that system a year ago, and I think he had a huge bowl game. He did not run the ball a lot against us, but their run play, shot play type of style, it killed us last year. We just didn't really have a good answer for it. So Peasley fits in very, very similarly to what they already have with Levi.
So you're hearing Coach Anderson say a lot of nice things about Peasley, and you heard Coach Bohl say he wished the best for Levi, but he hasn't talked much about it. But Levi or not versus Peasley, him versus us in this big game tonight, again, it's what we're talking about. So again, Coach Bohl talked about, is this a big game for Andrew against the Aggies?
This is about our program, and and I'm sure he's going to do everything he can to just put those individual feelings aside. I do know he has great respect for a lot of the players that are there, and Coach Anderson. So it's not like, there's a ill feeling that he has. I think he's got great respect, and we anticipate that Andrew's going to play well.
Bohl said this week that he didn't really recruit Andrew when he was in high school at LeGrand, Oregon, but needing a quarterback out of transfers, he went there after Levi Williams did leave after 3 years. Levi's fiance is Tatum Stahl, who is a Utah State volleyball player who's playing, I think, right now in the Spectrum tonight. They're doing a Spectrum Magic tonight. Yes, a very talented star of our volleyball team is Clay Stahl's sister, and that is Levi Williams' fiance. So here is how the whole timeline went down as the coach outlined for us this week.
We had no intentions of taking a transfer quarterback until Peasley chose to leave. Myself, Coach Tuck, had probably 5-6 different individual meetings with Andrew before he made his final decision. I don't think it was an easy one for him. He loved our locker room, loved the coaching staff, and you have to get, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he made it very clear this was not an easy decision. But he did want to be the starting quarterback and understood the circumstances with our room and what that meant. And so he put his name in the portal. We then decided to look and investigate the just the landscape of what was available, and Levi reached out fairly quickly. It was obvious he was leaving, and with his fiance being here on campus, I think there was some incentive on his part to be a part of our roster. Knew the circumstances with Logan, knew the circumstances with Coop, both having been a starter and both having played well in the bowl game. Wasn't afraid of competition, and he chose us. So the timeline would be Peasley leaving initially on his own, us kind of evaluating what was available, and then just felt like Levi was too good of a kid and too good of an athlete and had played so well against us and played so well in the bowl game that we'd be crazy not to take him, and he's been a great addition.
So there it is, great addition. He goes through that. He is a special person, and you can tell that the coach, again, loves these players and always does, no matter what, even if they leave like Peasley has, because he said,
well, I've talked to him several times this year, loved the kid, encouraged him, told him congrats on big wins, told him good luck every week but one. And I mean that. I cried when the kid told me he was leaving. I love the kid and love what he brought to our table and wish him nothing but the best. Just on Saturday, we got to try to make him really uncomfortable.
All righty. So, again, we're hoping the Aggies can make him uncomfortable tonight. And the defense have been playing well. Can they get after him? Of course, he's got that running ability that the Colorado State quarterback maybe didn't have last week. So they're going to have to contain him a little bit more. It's maybe a little different game plan. But Aggie defense has been on it. They're maybe going to have to carry this team. Offensively, there's a lot of questions going in if it's Williams or if it's Davenport at quarterback tonight. We also had a lot of questions today with Mother Nature. Again, the power. Our TV went out for a while here. It looks like we're going to be able to watch the game, which is good, thanks to somebody fixing that. But don't let Mother Nature spoil your night. A Generac backup generator. Get it installed before winter really sets in from Golden Spike Electric, 257-3016. They're part of our game day sponsors here on KVNU and The Fan. And our man Craig Hislop again in July talked to two of the Wyoming Cowboys' best players down there. And he starts with the running back Titus Swen. 505 yards, 4 touchdowns, 10 catches, 82 yards this year. And their linebacker, Easton Gibbs, is the tackle leader for them with 59 in 7 games. He's had a sack, a fumble recovery. He has 191 career tackles. So Swen last year against the Aggies, as Craig mentioned, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, part of that 604-yard game. And let's hear what they told Craig about things in Las Vegas.
Were you wide open immediately?
For the most part, it was wide open immediately, but the play before that, it was a busted play before that, so I was actually kind of nervous of going back in. I was like, damn, I'm starting off like the ball in the end zone. For like 3rd and 2, boom, I'm in the end zone. I'm like, okay, 98 yards to go, let's get it, boom. As soon as the ball snapped, I saw her, I was like, oh, okay, it's like that. Boom, I hit it. I started running full speed. I'm feeling like I almost fumbled the ball because I was running so fast. I was trying to like pump my arms, and the ball almost popped out, and I was like, oh, no. Grabbed security again, kept running, looked at the Jumbotron. I saw the safety, like, running full speed after me. I was like, I got to, like, make a left or a right, and he just, like, soon made it right. He dove, missed. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm home free now. Touchdown.
That run probably took 10, 11 seconds. It took a minute to describe it.
It did, too. I feel like I was running forever.
Listen, the Aggie fans didn't expect what happened there. I mean, they were rolling along, and I probably should ask Easton about this. The way you guys played, I assume it was maybe your best game of the year?
Yeah, I would say so. We really had like a complete game going. We came in and we really were just like, we're looking to get bowl eligible, so that was a big motivator. And we kind of had a chip on our shoulder. It wasn't having the best year. At that point, we were kind of on a little skid, and we knew you guys were in the running for the whole thing, and we were like, let's just go make a statement. And I think we came out and played well enough and did that game.
Can you look back at something that happened early in the game that put you on the right track? Anything like that?
I really just think the energy. We came into the game and offense got rolling really early. And as a defense, we looked at that and we're like, all right, well, if they're rolling, we got to get the ball back and just keep feeding them because they were doing pretty much whatever they wanted. So we were just focused on getting them the ball back, and then we just kind of started rolling from there.
Titus, back to you. Because of the offense, an interesting thing happens in the offseason. Andrew Peasley comes to your place, and Levi Williams comes to Utah State. When you heard about all that, of course it didn't happen automatically together, but what, in the long run, how did you feel about that?
Honestly, when it first happened, I wasn't too excited about it because losing a quarterback that just like had 5 touchdowns in a bowl game, that was like, where are you going, Levi? But he went to Utah State because it was a better opportunity for him and his family. I respect that, but I'm grateful for Peasley actually coming in here and taking over the job. Like, I didn't think he was even going to be all that good because I didn't even watch Utah State. I'm like, Utah State, I'm not watching him. Then I actually started getting to know Peasley and started watching his work ethic, and it resembles mine, so that's all I can ask for, somebody who works hard as me.
Earlier when I talked to Coach Bohl about that, I read something that some writer had said the program hasn't seen that kind of swagger from a quarterback going back, a few years. And he said, well, I don't know. I mean, Peasley's got the swagger. How would you feel about that?
I mean, Peasley does walk with a smooth little step on him, like he has things figured out. But I mean, that's good for any quarterback to have that little swagger on him, because you don't want your quarterback to go in the game like, nah, he doesn't look like he's ready. You want a quarterback to go in like, yeah, I'm finna throw the pass, yeah, I'm finna run the ball if I need to. If I need to do it, I'm gonna do it. For the team, I'm gonna do it.
Appreciate Craig again getting with the people again and having some interesting stuff here on our game day coverage on the Fan and KVNU. But let's not have Swen get 169 yards and 2 touchdowns and run one of them 98 yards like he did in the stadium last year in this game tonight. But in an interesting little stat from Cache Valley Bank, we always do stats after the game for Cache Valley Bank. We usually give one before the game. You realize the Cowboys have held the Aggies to less than 30 points in 6 of the last 7 games to go 3-3 against Utah State. Even with the Jordan Love years, we only had one real explosion against them offensively. So last week is the first time the Aggies have had a win with less than 20 points since they beat Southern Utah 12-9 in that horrible game in 2015. And you go back even further than that, and it's been a long, long time. So, again, 28 straight losses, I think it was, for Utah State to score less than 20 and lose. Again, in the Mountain West in 2013, beat Colorado State 13-0. That's the last game besides the one against Southern Utah. Statewide presence, local focus. Cache Valley Bank brings you our game. We'll get to the real coaches' features and thoughts on this game specifically for Keys coming up next.
When you need to punt, we'd rather not have to punt, but when you do, you want to be really effective at it, and he is extremely, and I think he and our snapper do a great job of protecting us, because they make it extremely difficult to get to us unless we just have a bust, which we did.
Obviously talking about Stephen Constantly, the punter who was the special teams player of the week in the conference, despite a punt blocked in the game. Coach will explain that as we come back in our game day segment next, right here.
This is Jarek with Jarek's Fine Jewelry. This October is our 14th year anniversary. So to celebrate, we want to treat you to an anniversary date. Make it a date night on us. Come engagement ring or anniversary ring shopping at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. We have thousands of designs to choose from, including the newest custom designs. With no strings attached and no purchase necessary, we will buy your dinner at Bloom Eatery. The entire month of October, come in ring shopping and Bloom is on us. Make date night special. Make it Jarek's.
Recently, UNI Furniture took a call from Best Furniture, and they asked UNI to take all the display furniture from the Las Vegas Market Show. Because it's all display furniture, it's deeply discounted, and it's on sale now. Swivel, reclining, accented lift chairs, sofa loves, and sectionals. And also, UNI just got a big order they placed over a year ago from Southern Motion, all at pre-inflation prices. You can take advantage of these sale prices and lay it away at no extra charge until the holidays. Big selection, great prices. That's why there's always a better buy at UNI Furniture in downtown Logan.
Elements has delicious lunch specials, 2 for $30, or the new soup, salad, and bread special for just $10. It's tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items prepared with a personal touch. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecue chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite Munster burger, casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9 p.m. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations today.
National Medicare commercials are confusing and offer amazing coverages and options that simply seem too good to be true. This is Rusty Allen from LSS Insurance. Unfortunately, national companies don't know our networks of doctors or hospitals. At LSS Insurance, I guarantee if there is a way to get you more for less, we will do it. Now is the time to change or sign up for 2023 Medicare. Call LSS Insurance at 752-9493. Go to lssins.com or come in to our free third Thursday meeting.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Daryl's Appliance on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
And as you look at the scores, I mean, my perspective was I thought San Jose was kind of, and they still probably, I don't know. I mean, everybody seems to have a Saturday where if you're not playing your best, you're going to get beat. And so that's why we tell our players that the most important game is the next one that we have to play.
That's Craig Bohl on the Mountain West, and they can stay in the race. The Aggies can stay in the race, but Boise State 19-7 with the ball late in the third quarter, leading at Air Force in their game. Fresno's going to beat New Mexico. We mentioned earlier today Colorado State beat Hawaii. New Mexico State was supposed to play San Jose. San Jose lost that player in the traffic accident yesterday morning. They canceled that game for now. They're hoping to be able to play the next little bit. See this week that Pro Football Focus put together a midseason college football All-America team looking at players for their professional ranks. Hunter Reynolds made the second team of the midseason All-America football team from the Aggies. Utah had two guys make the first team, and Dalton Kincaid, their tight end, and Clark Phillips, their defensive back. And Bentley Sanders in Nevada was on the midseason AP All-America team. Nevada's having a horrible year, but still, he must be a heck of a player. All right, let's get to starting lineups in the game tonight, brought to you by Aegis Home Health and Hospice. Their core values are character, experience, and trust. Here to meet your healthcare needs wherever you call home. It is Aegis Home Health and Hospice, myaegis.com. Aggies again on the offensive line. Back, it looks like, to Alfred Edwards and Jacob South at tackles, although Cole Motes plays some. And then it's Wade Meacham as the starting left guard. It's taken a long time getting the starting lineup, Wade.
It's a little surreal. I mean, I've been here since the spring of 2018. Been a backup and, a rotational player a little bit last year. And so it's been a dream to earn a starting spot, and so it's been really fun this year to be able to play a lot and to, really feel like I contribute to the wins that we're having and to some of the success we're having. So it's been a dream come true.
He's waited till his senior year, and here is again Waylon Lapawahu, a really true freshman. He came in for spring football a little bit, but this is his first year, and he's starting.
I think Waylon has a bright future in this program. I mean, from day one, he's had awesome energy, been coming in every day, ready to work, ready to learn. He's been super humble and, hasn't let starting as a freshman get to his head. He's, always willing to learn and to get better. A lot of people always talk about the physical gap between, high school and college football, but there's also a big mental gap between, the amount of responsibility that we have as an offensive line, the amount of things we need to know. And Waylon's done a great job adjusting in both categories.
Chandler Dolphin is the center. The quarterback tonight, a question mark. Is it Levi Williams or Bishop Davenport? Calvin Tyder, Brian Cobbs, Josh Sturzer, Justin McGriff, Terrell Vaughns, or Nana Davis on the offense. Now, defensively, we'll see if Byron Vaughns could go tonight, but it could be Grisham and Joyner, who started at defensive end last week, along with Tavian Coleman and Hale Mopuapawaka at defensive tackles, Vaughn Pachong and Tafisi, the linebackers. Looks like Johnny Carter is out, so probably Anwanyu and Grayson at the corners. And at safety, Hunter Reynolds. You know who started last week? Ike Larson from here in the Valley, Coach.
Just progressively getting better. The guy's covering the field well, making tackles in open space, played phenomenal on special teams as we've seen. turnovers this season. Does not act like a freshman. Glad he's with us, and he's only going to get better. But that just tells you how much confidence we have in his ability to throw him out there first snap of the game knowing he's going to do what's right.
But we'll also probably see Gervin Hall, Dominic Tatum, and again, we'll see Kaleo Neves as the striker or Omari Okeke. They both played at that spot. That's your starting lineups. And a few coaches' thoughts to finish it up on game day on the Fan and KVNU right after this.
The right Medicare agent makes a huge difference. At Jessup Insurance and Retirement Services, we know Medicare is not a one-size-fits-all. We will ask the right questions to help you make the very best decision. Let us help you today and for all future Medicare needs and concerns. Remember, now is the time to enroll or make changes to your Medicare plan. Call Jessup Insurance at 435-213-3200 or go to jessupinsurance.com. We will work hard to be a great agent for you.
Jessup Insurance and Retirement Services. Let us guide you. Why wait? Ron Keller Tire.
What are the signs of the end of the world? At Ron Keller Tire, you know the end is near if they're out of tires. At Ron Keller Tire, you don't even need to schedule in advance. Pull into an open bay. An attendant will be ready to meet your needs immediately. New tires, flat tire, rotation, or balancing. The Ron Keller Tire difference means you don't wait. Quick, efficient, honest service. It's what keeps their customers coming back time and time again.
Why wait? Ron Keller Tire.
Why wait?
Why wait?
Don't get caught without power after a windstorm or a major winter freeze. Golden Spike Electric offers Generac backup generators so you can be prepared and keep your home warm while avoiding frozen pipes. Golden Spike Electric is one of the largest Generac dealers around, so you know it'll be installed right. Whether you're a homeowner or an electrician, contact Golden Spike Electric to rest easy the next time the power goes out. Online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. They also service other models.
The Young Automotive Group is proud to announce Young Truck and Trailer Center in Cache Valley. Whether it's heavy equipment trailers, horse trailers, race car trailers, or cargo and utility trailers, we're excited to offer some of the finest trailers and flatbed work trucks to Cache Valley. Our team of experts look forward to helping you find the right truck or trailer to fit your needs, with competitive prices offered on every make and model for sale on our lot. With our extensive inventory, you'll find the best deals right here in Cache Valley. Young Truck and Trailer Center, just off Highway 89 in Logan. Think young, drive young.
They've got an excellent running game, and Tyler and Biggs, both of them, can move the ball on the ground. I think they're improved in that area from last year. And Utah State always seems to have receivers. Cobbs is no different. I know he transferred in, but a big play guy that has plays with great effort. And they got another 6'6" guy, number 10, McGriff, who is a great target as well.
Craig Bohl on the Aggies skilled players as we go into this game. This is a football team at Wyoming that did lose some players with experience, and they have come together, and there's a reason for that. And the coach says,
if you look at the number of penalties that we've had, I think we may be the least penalized team in the league, and typically young teams, have a tendency to be penalized a lot. And I think the other thing is we've done a good job, by and large, taking care of the football. And typically young teams have a chance to turn some things over. And then the last thing I'd like to say is just their level of commitment to really embracing coaching. They want to be coached. And sometimes, in this world, you hear young people want to do their own thing, and that has not been the case with this group.
They started again with some wins. They then lost 2, but they beat New Mexico to get to 4-3. They're 2-1 in the conference. Boy, against defense, against last year, Coach, we struggled against this Wyoming defense.
I think they fall right in with what we just saw. I had a lot of respect for the pass rush you could get from Colorado State. We saw this last year against Wyoming. We saw it against San Jose as well, and Boise. There's a lot of really good defensive fronts. This one is no different. They are willing to play man coverage and let their front get after you. And it showed up in last year's game. We did not really ever get rhythm on the offensive side of the ball. We struggled all night. And what I see on tape is the same thing. They'll let their guys get upfield, let them chase the quarterback. They play with tremendous effort, and they're willing to play man coverage and bring the extra guy or two, which can generate tons of problems for you if you're not ready for it.
Craig mentioned they have a great kicker. It's windy. again, over at Wyoming tonight. Special teams will play a big factor in this game, according to Coach Blake Anderson.
They've always recruited kickers and punters to do the job effectively. This team's no different. You're going to have to play well in special teams phase. And in a game like this, when you get into conference play late in the year, it has a big impact. It can be the phase that swings the whole game one way or the other. We're lucky that it didn't the other night. It could have easily lost us the game. We missed 2 field goals and we give up a blocked punt. You don't win that game usually.
Now, Stephen constantly was the special teams player of the week in the conference this week, despite a blocked punt in the game the coach says wasn't his fault.
Complete bust on our part. We worked that look and have a very simple adjustment, and we didn't make it. To be honest with you, we had a mistake on the field in how we called that particular look.
And so again tonight, no mistakes. Offense has got to be efficient. Wyoming won't give up a lot. We know it will probably be a tough football game. Wind could be a factor. Kicking may be affected by that wind over there. They didn't get snow. They're not in any precipitation like we had here in Logan. First time in 107 years that we played Colorado State and Wyoming back-to-back on the road, the Aggies and the Cowboys. It's on FS2, DirecTV 618, Dish 149, Comcast 264. The HD is 722. Enjoy the game. Come back and join with us immediately following the game for our game day coverage, post-game of Utah State football tonight.